Hello guys, we got Ben here. He's the mayor of Neosho, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the flooding and just get his thoughts and opinions on this and some of the numbers. And I go ahead and ask the first question. What do you think the numbers are of the homes affected and the people affected?
Well, what I'm hearing as far as homes affected, I mean, we're looking at probably anywhere between 50 to 100, homes between the east side of the city and the north side along that area that were low-lying areas. And we're still getting those numbers, still trying to find out exactly how many was affected and how many people when it comes to how many had insurance, how many didn't have insurance, those kind of things. And that's part of that assessment phase, which is what we're at right now in Neosho, is just assessing everything, assessing the damage. I know the city is busy trying to assess the damage to the roads, damage to the parks, and all of those things that we're going to have to deal with as well. One of the quick things we've tried to get on the ball about is debris pickup. The city will be doing that starting Monday. Because that's really important for volunteer efforts to be able to clean everything up and get it off the curb and move forward in the cleanup. So that was something that we've been working on and getting that ready come Monday. So there's a lot of people affected, and that was early on Saturday. My biggest concern was people's safety, and it's a miracle to me that there was no loss of life. And that was my number one priority. Number two was when we had the water pumps go out. That was a big hurdle, because we came very close to a boil order on Sunday evening, just probably within a few hours of a boil order. But we were able to get one of those back on and get up and running. So that was another hurdle. And then the third thing that's been for me is trying to educate myself and the city staff and everyone, the county as well, on the right steps for this as far as documentation and keeping everything logged as far as hours, man hours, equipment hours, and all of those things, so that when and if there is a federal declaration for FEMA, we can present all of that and be ready to do that, which I feel confident that will happen. It's just a matter of that process of time. So
Awesome. And what do you think of the volunteers?
I think the volunteer efforts have been awesome and overwhelming. Even as early as Saturday, people were calling me, texting me, messaging me, what can we do to help, where can we go? At that point, we were still kind of in search and rescue mode. But on Sunday, that's when I asked Kevin to be over the volunteer efforts, and he's done a fantastic job of calling people, getting people involved, pulling people in. I've had a number of churches and organizations and individuals wanting to help, volunteer. So as this goes, I think it's just going to grow, and that momentum will grow, and that helps the morale of the people. It keeps people positive when they know people are out here helping. They don't even know where they came from, So I think the volunteer efforts have been awesome and will continue to
Awesome.
grow.
And what about just the people wanting to get out here and help? What do they come to, and do they come to you? Do they come to the Lampo, or?
They come to the Lampo. That's where we're funneling all the volunteers and vetting volunteers. That's another important step that I wanted to make sure that the people out there in the neighborhoods are legitimate, that they're not there as scammers or not there trying to take people's belongings. We've had very few instances of that so far. One of the reasons why is because I informed the city manager and the police department we need to have hourly patrols out there. We need to have people in the neighborhoods. So when they come through the Lampo, they get a bracelet. When they're out in the neighborhood, the police department and everyone else can tell, usually just by looking, if they're supposed to be there or not. Now that doesn't weed out every single situation, but it does most. And that's the main thing. I don't want the citizens being taken advantage of in any way. So if we can prevent most of that, then I think that'll be for the best interest of the people. So people will come here, volunteer, sign up, and there's a million things for them to do. So.
Yeah. And the final question is, what do you think of the damage as a whole? Is this the worst you've ever seen of this area for flooding? Or?
Absolutely. I've been here for around 18 years in Neosho. I've never seen it flood like this, but I know people that have been here all their lives as elderly folks, 70, 80 years old, that have never seen flooding in the city like this. One of the things that's interesting to me, though, is the fact that there has been flood mitigation steps that have been taken in the city in recent years with retention ponds and things, and I do think that it would have been much worse if those steps hadn't been taken in recent years. Obviously, a flood of this proportion, there's some other things we're looking into to see if we can help prevent that in the future. One of those is looking at, with Morris Park, many times it's been flooded, the ball fields have been flooded, and so we're looking into options with that. But overall, the damage is definitely by far the worst disaster I've ever seen in town. I know there was a tornado some years ago, maybe in the 70s or maybe even further back than that, I can't remember exactly, that did a lot of damage in Neosho, but so this is unprecedented, and definitely for me, as just being mayor 2 weeks. So, but we're taking it as a challenge that I believe the people are strong and we can recover. So I'm looking forward to working with everyone to do that.
Well, we appreciate your time, and keep up the good work. We're proud of you guys. So.